Prakoshtah, room. Utpitika, table. Asandah, chair. Manchah, bed. Kapatika, cupboard. Churika, knife. Kantakah, fork. Darvi, spoon. Chashakah, cup. Patrakah, plate. Kupi, bottle. Deepaha, light. Samarjani, broom. Droni, bucket. Shayangaraha, Shayan Prakoshtah, Shayan Shalaha, bedroom. Pakshalaha, kitchen.
So what I would like you to do is piece of paper and pen. Obviously, the goal is to arrive to this complete sentence at the bottom. So the way I did it, I just simplified it and I made it simple, like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Okay. So start with stage 1 and then, it's going to build up and you'll get to the stage 4. Translate. Translate, please. This is from Mahabharata. We're going to learn about Upapada compound. Revision of compounds so far. Dvandva, this is Itaretara and Samahara. In other words, Rama Site or Sita Ramao. Okay, so member 1, member 2, and then you decline the last member. And then Samahara, it's always going to be singular, dual, and plural, never used, only singular used. Okay. Tatpurusha, 6 types. The last member is most important. And you'll find more about this in lesson 48 of the website, these 6 types. The most common of the 6 are KSTP, Rama Putraha, son of Rama, or Sita Putrika, right? The daughter of Sita. And then you got Karmadharaya, adjective plus noun. For example, a white garland. So instead of declining both of them, you just decline the last one, Shukla Mala. And then Upapada, which we will learn now. Bahuvrihi, this will be coming up in the future lesson. Implied meaning. Remember this? Bahuvrihi equals implied meaning. I'm preparing you for the next chapter. In English, to give you some context, Harry was a red coat. Like, what are you talking about? What is a red coat? Well, Harry was, and then the formula is one whose last member is first member, the one whose coat is red. And then what is the final definition of that? Harry was a British soldier, because red coat refers to one who is wearing a red coat. And then Sanskrit, here's an example, Mahagajaha, one whose last member is first member, one whose elephant is great. Who's this talking about?
Indra.
So he is a Mahagajaha. So if you see Mahagajaha, just like British soldier, well, one whose elephant is great.
Can it also be a great elephant?
Yeah, exactly. If you're not using it, so the context will change it from, from Bahuvrihi into just an ordinary.
Depends on if you're talking about
Indra. Exactly.
Or Indra or Airavata.
Good. Avyayibhava. Just think of it like indeclinable, right? Prati, in other words, prefix plus indeclinable word. And then you combine them together, you get pratinisham every night. So you're never going to decline this. There's no paradigm. It's just pratinisham every night. Upapada compounds. So the formula is stem plus verb root plus decline like a narapalasena. Example, sattva, purity. We learned about this tva last week or whatever. Sattva, purity plus sta. Sta is a very common root used at the end of words and means established. And I put it together, literally just put it together. Sattva plus sta equals sattva sta. Established in purity. So in other words, established in purity. The final word will always be an adjective. In other words, it's going to qualify a noun. So noun comes next. Here's the examples. Rama is established in purity. Read this for me, Bimal.
Ramaha sattvastaha asti.
Now notice how this aha is qualifying aha. Sita sattvastha asti. In other words, sattvastha sita, because it's qualifying the feminine. Houses are established in purity. Michael?
Grihani sattvasthani santi.
Householder. Graha sta. How many times have you heard this word? Grahasta. There it is. Upapada compound, householder. That means one established in the house. Yes. know.
So how did the star became grahastha?
Oh, how do you lose the long A, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see that at the end. Okay,
Okay.
knower of the Shastra. Shastrajna. Again, member 1 plus member 2. Simply join it together and you have Shastrajna. So how do you say Bindu Rama is the knower of the Shastra?
Ramaha shastrajnaha asti.
Super. How about you say Sita is the drinker of Soma juice?
Ta somapa asti.
Born of attachment to objects. Now, this is 3 members. We talked about 2 members. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Objects, Vishayaha plus Sangha plus Jan. Sangha is attachment. Jan is born. So you combine it together. Vishaya Sangha and then Ja. So Vishaya Sangajam, Vishaya Sangaha, Vishaya Sangam. So you can just see through the colors. Color 1, color 2, color 3. You only decline the last member. Member 1 is stem, member 2 is stem. So all the members are stem except the last member. And this applies to every kind of compound, not just the Upapada compound. Is that clear? Feedback to me what I said, Shiva?
All compounds, you will have stems followed by the last thing that declines.
Excellent. Giver of desires. Kama, desire, plus da, which is a root. Same thing, kama da, kama dam, kama da, kama daha. How about Krishna is a giver of desires?
Krishnaha kamadaha asti.
Now let's go on to what Bindu asked. Verb root, in other words, the last member. We're talking now about the last member, please. Right there. The last member. That last member may lose the last letter, like satvasta. Another rule is that there's a rule which is a long changes to a short vowel, like satvasta into satvasta. That's just a rule. The answer has been this question. Yoga sta into yoga sta. And then finally, t. This is what Mira was asking me some sessions ago. Okay, Indra G. Again, same concept. Stem 1, member 1 in stem form. G is to conquer, like Jayati, right? Conquer, he conquers. And then you add a t. This is just a possibility when it comes to Upapada compounds. You may add a t or you may not. In some cases, you will add a t. Indrajit, I'm sure you saw this before. Conqueror of Indra. Now, what Mira was asking is Brahmavit. Brahmavid, this d changes into a t. Brahmavit, knower of Brahman. Okay, because vid means knowledge, right? So knower of, and then you can say Atma vid, knower of Atma, something. And then here's from Chandogya Upanishad, chapter 7. Tarati, Tarami, I overcome. Tarasi, you overcome. Tarati, he overcomes, she overcomes. Tarati shorkam, Atmavit, then the knower of the self, obviously the higher self now, as Melanie was saying. So the knower of the higher self overcomes sorrow.